Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. Today is Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Today is Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, and you are tuning in live here at 7:25 a.m. to News in Motion. Or if you're catching the replay, whether it be in the nighttime, the afternoon, or in the evening, we just want to say thank you for tuning in and watching and supporting News in Motion. For our audio podcast listeners, thank you for listening in to NIM Today. For any of our platform streaming viewers, whether it be through Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, we just want to say thank you for supporting us and joining us here early in the morning each and every day for your relevant commentary and call to action news. Shout out to our YouTube viewers. Y'all be in the room early. Sometimes it will be 7:15 and you're already chatting in the premier chat box. So shout out to some of our YouTube viewers. Miss Kim Emerson, I see you coming up in the room. Good morning to you. Good morning, Miss Adrian. Good morning, Miss Regina Short, who is tuning in through Facebook. And good morning, Mr. Robert Holman, also tuning in through Facebook as well. Mr. Derek Holmes, peace and good morning to you too, sir. Peace and good morning to you too. We miss having you on the show. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully all is well. But today is Tuesday, October 17th. We will be joined by Miss Gail Deli momentarily. But first, y'all know what we do here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
I get so excited when I see our new intro. I love the way that Pastor Tim Carpenter did that like remix towards the bottom, towards the end. And it just brings me joy. I get so excited. I'm gonna back up. I see Patricia Lau's in here as well. I want to get to Derek Holmes. This is crazy because I picked up my phone to call you yesterday, and then my father called in, and I never ended up calling you back. So I owe you a phone call as soon as this broadcast is over. Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Deborah Sneak, good morning to you. Jackie, good morning to you. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. I see my brother in here. Good morning to you. I see you, Lori Wallace. I see you, Donita. I see you, Shardinia. I saw Terry pop in here as well. There's others that are coming in here. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. I see you, Marion Jackson, coming in from YouTube. There's several that are also on LinkedIn. So let me speak to the LinkedIn viewers. There is somewhat of a twist with our streaming system and LinkedIn. So you can come in and we can see your comments and you can hear us when we respond to you, but you're not seeing any of the other comments. And I don't know if it's the system or not. We're checking into that. So some of you are saying, we're not seeing anything but our own comments. So we apologize for that. Thanks for letting us know. We're going to see how we're going to be able to work that out. So good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. Many of you have been wondering where, when I talk about where I'm putting up writing, my articles, it's just really interesting. And I made a post yesterday on Instagram that my break during the summer, it's like the floodgates have opened. It's when you find that freedom, when you find that beat, and you know that topic you want to talk about, it's just a constant download. I had been in a place of I'll say a dry place when it came to writing. I think I was just so upset about the book last October and everything that happened, although I was just going with the flow. And by the way, and we're making that book a hardback. That's how amazing this book is. So again, all of you who pre-ordered, you're getting that, and you're getting something because actually the price increased too. It's not going to matter to those of you who pre-ordered. The price has increased because of the content and the value that's now in there. So stay tuned. We'll keep rolling that out. I'm slow walking, rolling that out this time. But I think I was just in that dry season when all that happened. Although there's nothing we could have done with that because of what happened to the editor's home and everything that happened that took place there. And I think perfect timing. But there's just been a release in my writing. So I do a lot of writing. You can go through my website to the blog to do it, but it's on a platform where writers go called Medium. That's our medium. So there's another thing that I'm doing as well. So yesterday I was talking about strategies for successful voting, voting out incumbents and elected officials, and I gave y'all a list of how we could do that. Well, I decided to put that up on Medium, and I put that up using a paywall. I put that up using a paywall, so you can still get it, but there's going to have to be something to come behind that too. And why am I doing that? As we are continuing to grow, it is important for us to make sure we're able to hit the platforms that we're hitting. Soon I'm going to do an annual report here with News in Motion, so all of you can have that. We'll do like a Wednesday workshop to go through that. But when we look at everything that we're doing and we're giving all of this content free, we are freely giving it and we want to, we realize to stay in the flow with where everyone is, we're going to have to make some changes. So every now and then on Medium, you can sign up for free. There's a lot of my free articles out there. There's a ton of articles that I have out there. I'm almost writing 2 to 3 every week since August. Check those out. But then every now and then I'm going to put up one with a paywall. And I hope you are okay with that because they're doing it on USA Today, Politico, Guardian, Wall Street Journal, you name it, it's already happening. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. Thank you for your support as well. I see you, Latrice Jones. Kim Edmondson said, I'm glad you shook that off. I did. I had to shake that off. I did. And you know I was struggling. When I put something out there, you all, I wanted to be right there. And God was like, not this time. That's not happening. All right, y'all, let's get to the news. Let's get to the news. Let's get to the news. Y'all, outcome of the gag order with Donald Trump. Politico and others are reporting. I like the way Politico wrote this, so I'm going to quote them here. A federal judge has barred the former guy, Donald Trump, from attacking witnesses, prosecutors, and court staff involved in his Washington, D.C. criminal case, imposing a gag order that just kind of like escalates the tension a little bit. Now, she didn't go all the way hardcore on this gag order because of the First Amendment protection, yield to administration of justice, and so forth and so on. But he cannot attack witnesses. He cannot go out there and attack the process. He cannot attack the judge or the judge's staff. But she did allow him to say whatever he wanted to about Joe Biden administration because of the political that they're running the campaign. But she declined to just be real strict on everything. Like he can attack residents of DC, which I didn't understand that one as much. And the Biden administration, but everything else, no, not happening. I see you, Tracy Brace. I see you, Hazel. Good morning to both of you. So I'm not, I'm glad there's a gag order. We also know there's one in New York as well. I think he has to go back to New York today. This is just crazy. The amount of money. Again, I told you all yesterday, he has raised the third quarter $120 million. The sitting president, Joe Biden, has raised $70 million. And I'm like, who's giving this man money? Knowing all of his legal troubles. It's just crazy. Now, it's interesting. I see you, Kim Edmondson says, stop being a bully. It's interesting, you all, because I'm like, I kind of liked it when he had the freedom to talk, because I think that got him in more trouble. Now he's pulling back just a tad bit, but he's finding a way and he's using his people to make some of the attacks. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see all this unfolding. I know that particular trial will start in March, right before Super Tuesday. I thought that was interesting as well. All right, y'all, the Washington Post is reporting that a settlement agreement filed on yesterday would prohibit criminal prosecution for parents for illegally entering the United States with their children. Under the former guy, that's Donald Trump, the possibility of such prosecution, led border officials to separate thousands of migrant children from their parents in 2018 and beyond. Speaking of children, I just could not talk about this yesterday. I just could not talk about it yesterday. And I'm going to slightly talk about it today. But the heinous act of that 71-year-old man, I'm not even going to call his name, who was charged with first-degree murder, an attempt. They're now looking into this and going to call it a hate crime. But how he stabbed the 6-year-old Palestinian American boy to death and seriously wounded his mother because the family is Muslim. It's just horrific to me. It's sad that we're here and the things that's going on. So I wanted to say that, y'all, hundreds of mourners came out yesterday gathering for the funeral yesterday afternoon. And, just his sudden death from Saturday. The cutest little boy. I just don't understand why people are responding the way that they are responding, which they also have been issuing a warning to be aware, to be mindful. If you see something, say something, report it, and so forth. All right, I want to turn to Ohio just for a moment. I see you, Victoria Murray. Good morning to you. Um, in Ohio, if you haven't recognized it, if you are caught with your phone in your hand, driving, stopping at the stop sign, at the light, whatever, then you are caught with the police. That's $150 fine. Did y'all see that line on television where people were lined up paying that fine the other day? I'm like, okay, so everybody just be careful. Use your Bluetooth, or it's not that important till you get to where you need to go. So just be mindful of that. They are watching you, okay? And they are pulling you over. I see you, Frank Clay, coming in from LinkedIn as well. All right, y'all. President Joe Biden plans to travel to Israel on tomorrow as his administration seeks to prevent the Israel and Hamas war from expanding. Yeah, they think it's going to expand. So pay attention to that. There's now believed to be 199 hostages, which is a totally different number than before. I shared with you all yesterday that it was Royal Caribbean. I couldn't think of it yesterday when I was telling y'all. Rhapsody of the Seas was the ship that took people out of Cyprus to get them somewhere else. And they're thinking more ships are going to come in to pick up people. So that's out there as well. I see you, Karen. Good morning to y'all rolling up in here. I love y'all. So just be mindful of that. So that is going to be happening on tomorrow. Now, y'all, today is the day at 12 noon. Will it be one ballot, 20 ballots, 50 ballots? Will it ever end? Can we just get a speaker of the house? Although I don't want Jim Jordan. Y'all, I'm from Ohio. He's in Ohio. We know some things. Y'all don't want him as speaker. No, seriously. House Republicans will hold a vote to elect a new speaker today. If it happens today, they have formally nominated Representative Jim Jordan, who's also over the House Judiciary Committee. But Jordan's chances, like it, all things are coming back. That his chances of earning 217 votes. Again, the number's usually 218, but there are 2 vacancies from the 435 seats. So that shifts that vote number to 217. Y'all know I've been saying that for a while. Y'all know that, right? And everybody else kept saying 218. Y'all better watch News in Motion because we give y'all the truth. We check it out. We connect all the dots. So I've been saying 217 for a mighty long time. So they have now admitted 217 votes, which is what they're calling the magic number for him to become speaker. But they're not sure he's going to get it. So that's happening. Let's see. Frank Clay is saying propaganda to rationalize wiping out Hamas. Let's talk about that. Hold on. I'm getting there in a minute. All right, y'all. LinkedIn. And we have some LinkedIn people in here today hanging out with us. Let's see. Davia Stevenson says, Jim Jordan, what the what? Exactly, Davia. Exactly. Pause there. I got to go back since I saw that comment. I got to go back for a moment. No, we weren't feeling Kevin McCarthy either. But this is what we have now. So should we have just been hanging out with Kevin McCarthy? And I think Matt Gaetz, there's something about this whole thing that's like, what's really going on here? But here's in the history books, it will be Matt Gaetz, came to the floor to unseat the speaker who was in there less than 10 months. And then we have a possibility of Jim Jordan. It's just like, what is going on and why? There's just so much, there's just a lot of chaos. There's just a lot of chaos. Kim Edmondson says, I hope he doesn't get it. Like right now, they're whipping up votes. If y'all haven't been paying attention to that. So y'all have me here. So I gotta go here. What's up, Diane Ladybug? Right now, they're whipping up votes. And they're putting pressure, and some of the Republicans are using their aides as speakers or friends or whatever as the voice for them, letting them know that they're being pressured. They don't like the tactics. I mean, there's just a whole lot going on, just a whole lot going on. And I don't know if y'all saw the video, and I talked about George Santos, whatever his name is, George Santos yesterday, about how he like dropped the F-bomb and attacked a person the other day. I mean, his whole demeanor changed. I was like, who is this man? But now did y'all see the video where he was talking about Steve Scalise? He said, I'm like, this man didn't say this. He said, I didn't vote for him. I wasn't going to back him because he doesn't show any leadership qualities. He has no standards. And he just talks out of both sides of his mouth. I'm watching the television going, what did you say? Dude, you don't even know your name. You don't even know who you are. These are the things that you're saying, but that's how he attacked Steve Scalise. Now, I don't think he was good for speaker either. So we don't know what's going to happen. We just don't know. We don't know. So LinkedIn, they're going to lay off another 688 employees, 3% of its global workforce. And this is going to be out of the engineering department, the product department, the talent department, and the finance department. That's where they're coming out. So the announcement follows a reduction of 716 jobs that they just eliminated in May. So there's a lot that's going on. So that means that'd be over 1,000 jobs, over 1,200 jobs actually, that they're going to be releasing. So y'all, before I have a special guest, one of our own, but I'm going to talk about this New York Times and this report, and I want y'all to pay attention to this, please. Yeah, this is serious. I don't know if Mike Nicholson is on here this morning or not, but we've been sounding this alarm about this when they were first talking about it. Y'all, this is dangerous. TikTok, there's a TikTok video of former President Barack Obama, which has a voice that sounds just like him. The video sounds just like him. And he could, in this video, in this voice, he is defending himself against a conspiracy theory. Okay, it's not him. Okay, so the voice, which does not belong to him, but AI was able through these tools grab this, and they've been putting this video out there. It was a convincing fake. People are saying it took a long time to get to the bottom that was not his voice. They're talking about is generated by artificial intelligence using a sophisticated new tool that can clone real voices to create AI puppets with a few clicks of the mouse. Now, New York Times is reporting that technology used to create AI voice has gained traction, and they're mimicking a lot of voices. They're saying you have to not automatically think that is that person, which they said is very hard because the voices are very close. Companies like 11 Labs released a slate of new tools. This whole audio of fake have rapidly become a new weapon online for misinformation, disinformation, threatening. They're saying, like, going into this 24 election, you won't know if somebody said this or not. And they're trying to capture this, and they're trying to bring attention to this as soon as possible. So here you're hearing it right here on News in Motion. The fake audio adds to what they're calling the AI generated threats from deep fake videos, human-like writing from Chat GPT, and images from services like Mid-Journey. So they're saying even those images that you're putting up, that you're playing around with on social media, they're like, be very careful with those. They said use your own image. Don't try to distort them or whatever, because these are AI tools that's taking this information and using it against you. So even what we're doing here on News in Motion, somebody could come and take my voice and say that I've said something. And it's really, at this point, is hard to stop. They're doing their best to catch it. I'm not that important, so hopefully I don't have to worry about that. But they're saying containing AI voices has increased as content producers and misinformation, they're calling them peddlers, adopt this tool. Social platforms like TikTok, they're trying to flag these things and all this different content. Latrice Jones says AI is doing the most. They are. Kim Edmondson saying, and they're doing it with music too. Yeah. Um, Frank Clay said they could not unseat Biden January 6th. So, yep, the speaker, I absolutely agree with you. Diane says AI corrects my text messages. It's very interesting. So, they're like, be careful of the tools you are adding to your smartphones, your tablets, and your computers. Now, I want to read this line because I think it's the most important line of this article. It says the video that sounded like Mr. Obama was discovered by New Guards. It's a company that monitors online misinformation. Now, the video was published by one of the 17 TikTok accounts pushing baseless claims and fake audio that New Guard has been able to identify. So they said if you want to sign up with New Guard to get this information, it's News Guard, not new. I'm sorry, News Guard, NEWSGUARD. So y'all just be mindful, which tells all of us not to quickly receive something that you've heard, not unless you know them or there's how do I say this? You know them well enough to know. You've been around them well enough to know that doesn't sound like them. Their voice, it may sound like their voice, but their language, what they're saying, how they're saying it, the fact that they flipped from just last night, we were talking about something else. Know that and then flag that as disinformation. So there's that. All right, y'all. Isaiah, as you all know, has started this new job, and he and I were talking last week. I see you, Deborah Johnson. He and I were talking last week, and I knew he was going to be on break this week. And I said, Isaiah, I would love for you to come on to get an interview with you so we can talk more about what we're sharing. I want y'all to hear this. This young man, by the way, y'all, he'll be 21 on Friday. And as I shared yesterday, let's make sure we show him some love. My quest to all of you audio listeners, video viewers, whatnot, live viewers, is to bless him, sow into his life at least $21 or $1 or $2, whatever. Let him just, let's just show him because he's been doing some great things. So I want to interview Isaiah today about his new position and the work that he's doing with second and third graders and his experience from just loving on his brother the way that he loves on his brother. So come on in here, Isaiah. Can you bring yourself in here, please? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't complain.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I want to jump in. You and I were having a discussion last week, and I said, wow, the viewers need to hear about this. And of course, she said, well, I'm off next week, so I can do that. So I got really excited about that. So
Right.
can you just share? You don't have to name the school, but can you just share what drew you to apply for a job to work with the children that you're working with? So we can all just get a feel for your life and your walk and your purpose, because I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad for the longest time said that I would be amazing working with children. He even called me like early childhood development, something like that. So working with kids or just being around them and seeing them light up whenever they're around me, that's inspiring. So that kind of factored into me taking this new position, and also just trying to find a way to sew into another child as like I've been sewed into um, by the adults in my life. My village, my aunties, my uncles, everyone who just believed in me or who knows my family. So that's another reason why I took this job, and also just to make a difference in a child's life. Ever since I took this position, I've had so many second, third graders say like, seeing me helps them get through their day,
I love
or if they had a rough weekend, they see me on Monday, they'll be like, "Hey, Mr. Jones, how are you doing?" Stuff like that, and it's so surreal to hear Mr. Jones, even though like I'm still kind of young, but
that.
it's amazing, like, to say the least.
But that also shows respect, and that means they're putting you in that place of respect. So how
Yes.
has your experience working with these students over the last month and a half or so,
Yeah.
who have special needs, influenced your perspective? And how do you relate that to your relationship with your brother?
Oh, that's a good question. This experience has helped me relate to some situations with my brother through some of the behaviors that some of the students exhibit. We have a few students who are nonverbal, and sometimes they use a communication device. One student, he kind of understands sign language, and I remember when I was younger, my family had a DVD called Baby Signing Time, and we would use that for Isaac because Isaac was still in his non-verbal stage.
Okay.
Um, so it would have phrases like, eat or outside, or it would have like signs for animals and stuff. So we would use that for Isaac. And I'm noticing that it's not the exact similar behaviors, but it's definitely similar to what my brother does. Also with the running out of the classroom or running on their tippy toes, that's a clear sign of a
Okay.
child being on the autism spectrum as well. Or if they're whine, but if they'll cry but not out, like you don't see no tears coming out, or they're covering their ears, that's they're usually sensitive to a lot of noise, or sometimes they're sensitive to people singing. So usually we'll let them wear their headphones for a few minutes, and try to do a reset with them.
I love that. Now, in terms of providing support, I had to, after our conversation, I had to go wrap up these questions. In terms of providing support and understanding, what are some of your key takeaways in some of the interaction? Like when you interact with with the students, and you speak highly of them, by the way. I love how you even talk about them when we meet up in the green room. Um,
Yes.
what are some of the interactions and what are your takeaways and how does it leave you feeling? Like at the end of the day, what's your reward?
My reward is definitely seeing them the next day, or whenever I come back from my break, um, and, I see one of the students having like a rough time. Usually they'll just come up to me and like give me a hug. That's
Okay.
reassuring, for sure, knowing that even though I've only been there for a month, knowing that I've made that difference or that I've made that impact. Um, and that I've made them comfortable enough to get used to me. Because when I first got into that classroom, it was hectic. I'm not I'm not even gonna lie. And being the only male paraprofessional in the room, I have a little bit more. I don't want to say pressure, but responsibility.
Okay.
Especially working with the students, but knowing that there's that level of trust, there's that level of reassurance, that yes, I even though I am a teacher, I look to be more of a mentor.
Oh, I love
Um, because even though I'm a teacher, I'm still learning stuff on my own. But I'd rather be a mentor, and feel that and create that bond
that. Okay.
with the student than just be like a strict teacher, and to make it feel like school isn't fun, because with the way a child develops, they already think school is boring. So I feel like it's part of my responsibility to make it a little bit more engaging, a little bit more exciting for them.
Okay. You said something. I'm going to back up and grab that. You're the only male paraprofessional in that system?
In that classroom, yes.
In that classroom. Okay, okay. I was like, wow. And I think that's needed more and more today, to see male figures, including Black male figures.
Yes.
Um, so, what has motivated you to study in this field? Because when I'm starting to see unfold, you have your freelance, you have your media, your photography, and this educational piece that I love how it's all connecting. So talk a little bit about that, about the motivation behind that. And you're
um
balancing it well, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. It gets exhausting some days, but I still find the energy to push through it. And it ties back to what I said earlier. Um, just being able to work with kids and inspire them. Even with the kids at my church, that was a huge factor into
Okay.
taking this position. Whenever I'm doing videography at New Salem, and after service, I have a couple, kids who ask me, how do I work the cameras, or like they're interested in joining the media team because they see what I do. That's inspiring, for real, and also just knowing that you know that there is that level of trust, or like their parents know me from watching me grow up. There's this funny story that when I was a baby at New Salem, I would stand up in the pew with overalls and a bottle hanging from my mouth. That's basically been my story ever since I was young. Ask my mom and dad about that. I feel like I didn't do that. So, but just knowing that I'm making a difference, or that I'm inspiring someone to step out their comfort zone, because this is new for me. Being a teacher, or kind of being a paraprofessional. It's definitely something new to me, but it's also exciting in a way to kind of step out of your boundaries and try something new. Um,
Yeah, I
it
love
helps you learn a lot about yourself, and your resilience too.
I love that. It, I'm sitting here as I'm listening to you. You were giving the example, the illustration of church. I can see you now in your overalls on the pew with the bottle hanging out your mouth. I can see that, and I can see your
Oh
mother
God.
clapping and singing next to you. I can see all that. So, with that being said, with that being said, it seems as if, especially when I tie this into your brother,
Hmm.
Isaac, it seems as if you were being prepared for such a time as this. So that
Yeah.
that scripture is coming forth too out of Ecclesiastes. So what do you think has been your preparation to be where you are right now? Because so often I think people come out of high school, or even when they're in middle school, saying I'm going to do this, or I'm going to be this, but when they come out, there's this path that's taken, but it's like I'm using Davia's word here, we pivot to another direction. So
Hmm.
what's that pivot, and what has been that preparation for you to get to where you are here, or
I
now?
kind of. Oh no, you're good. I kind of wanted to. I like what you said there, when we pivot from what we're going to do in middle school and high school. No matter how much you try to plan for life, something always changes, whether it be good or bad. You can literally plan stuff out in advance, like months, weeks, days, and no matter what happens, something always changes.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
I
yeah,
think of this as not really. I think of this as a new opportunity. Like I
yeah,
said, to learn more about myself, because like I said, I'm 20, about to be 21 soon, and I'm learning that yes, videography and multimedia, that's my calling. Like that's what I love to do. That's my passion. Every time I hold a camera, my eyes just light up, and my creativity is like it just gets
mhm,
stirring.
yeah,
Um, but also working with kids, that's something that I've been good at too, or just interacting with them. Um, and that's not just with my students, but with other students at the school that I work with. There's some other second and third graders, whenever they see me, and they're having a rough day, they'll ask their teachers if they can come see me in my room for a quick second.
oh, I love that.
Um,
That
you
means you're
know,
leaving an impression.
yes,
Yeah.
a huge impression. They'll see me walking by in the cafeteria whenever I'm taking my students to lunch, and they'll literally move from one table and come sit over by me. So just
That's also an
knowing,
anointing as well. Let's recognize that.
yes, it is, and just I'm grateful for everything that I'm doing. I do not take this for granted. And I like that what Ms. Kim Edmondson said. It's okay to have multiple gifts and talents, because
Yes,
it is.
yes,
Don't limit yourself at all, to just one skill and one talent.
yes.
Um,
Look,
you know,
it took me 58 years to get to that. Okay. That was my summer break experience I've shared with some of you. And it's like, why do we put ourselves in this box? We don't have to. But I think so often people try to make us make a decision of what are you going to do, this or this? And it's like, but I love all of it. So why not be able to do it? But then they label us as, oh, they're just doing just way too many things and they're just this, that, and the other. It's like, no, this is my gift. This is what brings me joy. So I'm glad
exactly.
you're learning this at your age. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't limit yourself at all. Don't like put a label on yourself at
Yeah.
all. You have so much like potential that hasn't been tapped in yet, and you just need someone to invest in you. You need that person to open that door for you. And sometimes it's
Yeah.
most of the time it's God, but other times, you know, it could be a relative, you know, someone, a colleague that, you know, that's going to give you that slight push towards that promotion, towards that next
Yes.
step.
I
And
love
that's
that.
really all you need.
Your mom is saying when Isaiah was younger, he would leave his classroom to go check on his brother before he started his day. He
Yeah.
always been his brother's keeper. That purpose is manifesting in his life now. And God, I thank you. Lori Wallace is saying, I got more questions, so y'all can just hang out. We're gonna hang out for a minute. He's off today, so we can hang out. Lori Wallace says, there's no way Isaiah would be this caring, faithful, and knowledgeable without great examples from his parents. Be everything you can be, dear. Just don't have a box. Don't. I agree with that. Marion Jackson is saying, Isaiah, you are an awesome, inspiring young man. I second that. Regina Shorts is saying, where am
No
I? Where
gift
am
left
I?
but
Oh, no.
she
Davia is saying, no gift left behind. I agree with that. And Regina Shorts is saying, you're so wise, Isaiah. Don't limit your gifts. And I think so many people try to put us there. It's like you can't do media and you can't do publishing. Well, why not? Media and publishing, they're the same things. Or you can't do media and you can't do politics. You can't do um, graphic design and this. You can't do freelance photography and work in a classroom. Why not? Let's stop limiting each other and doing that. So, I got more questions for you. You got time?
I listen,
Because
I
I'm
got
loving
time.
this. I'm loving this. Can you share with the listeners any memorable, heartwarming moments that you've experienced with Isaac that have helped you influence your career choices, even with the photography, the videography, working in the classroom, and all the other gifts that you do? What are some memorable, heartwarming moments that you don't mind sharing, as long as we're not going into anything private?
No, you're good. I'm just thinking because there's so many moments with Isaac. Um, like there's not enough time in the day. Um, I think
And
a
he's a
few
senior. I'm like, he's a senior in high school.
that yeah, y'all hear that? Y'all nephew is a senior in high school.
Yeah, he
So
went to homecoming. I was watching your mom's videos on Facebook. Like, nobody asked my permission for him to go to homecoming. Like, what is this?
I had a few aunties that were upset that we didn't let them know about the send off. So I had to defend Mama Bear for that. But a couple of examples of some heartwarming moments I remember of Isaac that kind of inspired uh my professional choices. Just seeing him how he is in church, his interactions and his growth. He went from being this timid kid who would wear headphones because the drums were too loud to now he doesn't even wear headphones. He's authentic in his praise. And it's inspiring, and it it makes me want to not really want to be a better person, but kind of rebuild my own relationship with God. Because I'm not able to admit that in the past I've struggled with kind of acknowledging God, but seeing how my brother is and not really comparing his relationship to my own, because everybody's relationship is different.
Yeah.
Um, but just seeing how he is in church and his growth in that, seeing how he used to direct the side chapel whenever the choir was singing, um, and how he would just jump around and clap. That's so inspiring to me. Or sometimes when he would just jump in when when someone was missing from the run through. Whether it be an organ player. Now, granted, the organ would be off. The organ would be off, but he would jump on the organ and he would act like he was playing, or he would give the morning scripture. He would go right back to ushering. Isaac is definitely authentic in whatever he does. And, I'm so grateful for not only our village, our extended families, the aunties, the uncles, but for our church. They have made that place a second home for Isaac. And I am so grateful to not only New Salem, but Pastor Troy and Mrs. Brenda Troy, for just loving on him the way that they have.
Yeah.
That has truly been a blessing. And he loves them. He loves them. He talks highly of them all the time. But being able to go to church with my brother and just us being us, the Jones boys, that's really what it's all about. And that's kind of that's been the main example of like why I do what I do. Um, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you should do what you do for you." No, I do what I do for my brother, so that way he doesn't have to go through life, through all the dark spots. Now, granted, he's going to have his challenges, but
Yeah.
the last thing I want is for my brother to be taken advantage of. So
I
that's
hear
what I
that.
do. What I do.
I hear that. You have people coming in here, and I still have about 2 more questions, so hold on. Dr. Antoinette says, "Male teachers matter. Thank you for providing a role model to some young man who may not otherwise have one."
Yes,
And then they,
absolutely.
talking about Isaac being a choir director. I've seen him do that. Yes, and it just gives me joy. It's like I don't even pay attention to choir. I'm paying attention to Isaac. Lori Wallace saying he's such a wonderful young man. Um, Kim Evanson says now he's the drummer.
Yep.
She talks
He
about
does it all.
y'all's beautiful time together on Sundays. And then your mom says, "Thank you, News in Motion family, for encouraging our son. You are absolutely welcome. He's a joy to be on here and to work with." So what advice, and this was a question similar to it that I asked my daughter during the podcast last week. And I'm loving hearing from you young people this month. What advice would you offer to other young adults or college students who have siblings with autism or any type of special needs, particularly in terms of providing support, fostering understanding, or seeking a career in this field?
One, definitely have a lot of patience. Have a lot of patience. Realize that yes, they're different, but they don't have a disability. They have different abilities. Always remember that. They process things different than us. They think different than us, and sometimes they don't know what they're doing. And we shouldn't fault them for that. But
Yeah.
definitely have a lot of patience. Utilize your village, utilize your family. Realize that you do not have to do everything on your own. um,
Yeah.
Seek that therapist, seek that counselor, seek those doctors, seek your churches. Those are like going to be the main places to go to,
Mhm.
on those days where you're feeling drained or like you don't know what else to do. They're going to give you those people to connect with and those resources. Um, Also, just connect with other people who have the similar situations. Connect with other siblings who they might have siblings who are on the autism spectrum, or who might have Down syndrome, whatever the case may be. Connect with them. Build a support group. Because talking to someone who is going through the same situation as you, it's definitely a stress reliever, and it also, you realize that, wow, I'm not going through this alone. You can relate with me, something like that. So definitely have a lot of patience. I know that's easier said than done. Um, but that, utilize your family, utilize your village, y'all. Like I said, I'm so grateful for our village. To Miss Gail Dudley, I almost called her auntie. No, she is my auntie, y'all. She is.
You're my
To
nephew.
Miss Kim Emerson, who's also my auntie. And those are relationships built through my parents.
Mhm.
Um, and it's all like a butterfly effect. It all trickles down. It's actually like a bloodline, y'all. So utilize that village, utilize your churches, your counselors, get those resources, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Um, and it's funny because my brother, he he used to watch a show called Daniel Tiger.
Called what?
And
Say that again.
the show would be called Daniel Tiger.
Okay.
And Isaac would watch this, and they would have like different songs and stuff for different situations. So if somebody was sick, Isaac would say, "When you're sick, rest is best. Rest is best." Or when when you have a questions, ask questions about what happens. It might help. And that is just thinking about that. It's just mind blowing to know that he's using television and shows that yes, they're more catered to younger kids, but you got to remember Isaac, even though he's about to be 19, he's still his brain waves are that of like a 6-year old, 7-year old. So just seeing that and how he's applying that to his life, it's definitely awe inspiring.
Wow. Davia says, Isaiah, how you got me crying and praising this early in the morning. Hey, listen, I'm sitting here like, I would just want to break loose, really, because I'm just listening to him. I'm just like, yes, 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 yes. This is great. This is great. So I'm sorry, I have more.
You're
Looking
good.
at your own growth and experience, I think this is helping people. Looking at your own growth and experience, how have your interactions with your brother influenced your ability to connect with other people your age, who may not
Mm.
have the same experiences as you? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely can. Just seeing, like I said, Isaac is definitely authentic in everything he does, and his growth, going from that shy, timid kid to him walking up to you, calling you by name, and like giving you a handshake, a hug. Now, if Isaac really love you, he's going to get a selfie with you. He is going to get a
That's it.
selfie with you. If Isaac really love you, he is going to take a
I've had
selfie
a
with
few.
you. So just know that if either that you get a selfie with him, or like you'll get a movie character name. So for us, he loves Madagascar. Um, I'm known as Melman the giraffe. He doesn't call me Isaiah. He might call me bro, big bro, on a good day, but 9 times out of 10, whenever I'm calling him or like we see each other, I'm Melman the giraffe. Um, and I've learned to accept that. I've just learned to accept that, and also making sure that he's included.
Hmm.
Don't make your child or whoever is on like the autism spectrum or whoever has special needs. Don't make them feel left out. Include them in stuff.
Yeah.
Include them in the social events. Um, include them in everything that you do. Um, I know at Isaac School they have something called a fort rally. It's kind of like a pep rally, and this was the year after I had graduated. Um, and they were having their fort rally, or like they have a talent show, and they'll literally encourage Isaac, to sing, to dance, to do whatever, and like they'll hype him up. And I've had people send me videos of it. Um, there's been times where last year around this time for my birthday, he was at his concert singing "What a Wonderful World," and
Yes.
he dedicated a small part of that to me. He's like, "You're big 20, Isaiah Jones, happy birthday," and that almost broke me. And I was recording. I was like, "Come on, man, you can't be doing that. Like, come on, dog." Like,
I
so
love this. I
he,
love this. So can you share some strategies for you and to
yeah.
share with others, or resources that have helped you navigate challenges and responsibilities as a college student, as a freelancer, and now as a teacher, a paraprofessional? So, can
Mm.
you share some of the strategies and resources that have helped you navigate? I know it's just been a short time, but I know you've made some adjustments. So, to teach to share with other people your age who may be balancing a few things at the same time, what are some strategies or resources that have helped you navigate these differences, these challenges, or possible challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. Give yourself grace. Know that you are going through a lot, and it may feel like you're dealing with a lot, but give yourself grace and be proud of your accomplishments, not just right now, but in your past too. Because what you have accomplished in your past are shaping you to be the person that you're going to be in the future. Um, know that it's okay to take breaks. I know for me, whenever I try to take a break, it's easier said than done, especially when it comes to videography. Because, like I said, that's something that I love to do. But now I'm starting to be like, hey, I can't come in this day, or like, I'm gonna take this day off. Trying to just to rest or like for some self care. Do that as well, and don't compare your pace to other people's. Um,
Wow.
I know in the days, with today's world with social media, we like to compare other people's lifestyle to ours, and most of the time it's just a front. So be patient with yourself. Be proud of the progress that you're making right now, but don't be content. Be motivated to keep going, and like I said, don't compare yourself to another person's pace or race or whatever. Your time is coming. You just have to be patient and just keep grinding at it. I know that's easier said than done. I know there's gonna be days where you don't feel like it, but you know,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
Yeah. I love what your mom said here. Don't feel guilty about self care.
Not at
Don't
all.
feel guilty about self-care. Y'all, he'll be
Not at all.
21 on Friday. So I'm gonna need y'all drop him a cash app. He's dropping us some serious nuggets, okay? And y'all know I believe in paying people for their time. So that cash app is Isaiah Jones 1916. Again, that's Isaiah Jones 1916. I have one more question before we get out of here. I
Of
love the fact
course.
that we're now relaxed and we don't have to like be trying to hit the clock. Remember, I said we came back in September, the 11th. We may be on here 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or longer. And so today is just one of those days because I think you are helping people and the numbers aren't changing up there. So people are hanging around in your college journey. And I just love how you were acing things like ongoing. Have you encountered opportunities to advocate for your peers who may be on the autism spectrum? And if so, what has that been like for you?
I haven't had as many opportunities as I would like to, but there are
Hmm,
still definitely some opportunities to advocate for my peers who might be on autism spectrum. I know a friend of mine who I went to middle school and high school with. I didn't know that he was on the autism spectrum until about my junior year of high
okay.
school. Um, and that his brother is also on the autism spectrum as well. And I have another friend who his brother is on the autism spectrum. So just knowing that, we build that bond, and even though we don't see each other on campus, we text each other, we check in. We ask like, hey, bro, if there's anything you need, if you need to vent to somebody,
Yeah.
I get it, I understand. You're not going through this alone. Talk to your people. It's I know that us as a people, when I say us, I'm talking about, African Americans, we find it difficult to talk about our issues. But it's actually therapeutic, and it's relieving knowing that somebody could be going through the same thing that you are. So remember that you're not alone in this. Talk to somebody, and if you don't feel like talking it out, just write it out.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
write it out, sing it out, do whatever you have to do, dance it out, walk it out, do whatever you have to do. I know that for me, the last few months, I've been journaling how I've been feeling, or some strategies that
Mhm.
I could do differently, not just with my career, not just with school, but with my family and with myself,
Right.
especially mentally and emotionally as well. Doing a better job of some of the things I say and how I say them, and also the way that I carry myself and affirm myself.
Hmm. Would have you ever thought about, you know me, I'm always seeing opportunities. Have you ever thought about, and maybe you already are doing this,
Hmm.
starting a small group of some sort and just having once a month check-in or conversations or building strategies or anything like that? If so, can you speak to that? You know, your auntie Gail, I will always see an opportunity and be like, hey. So have you ever thought about, or maybe you're doing that now, just to even in a non-official way capacity?
I have thought about that. I know back like a few months ago, I would have like a check in with some of my well, some of like my younger people. Um,
Okay.
I know with with them, I would take like a Saturday out of the month. We would meet up at like Easton or something like that. Get something to eat and
Okay.
just talk about life, mental health, anything that they wanted to talk about. And there was that confidentiality. Unless it was something serious, then I would tell a parent, of course. But
Right.
just kind of doing that. I definitely want to start that back up again. Definitely do that for with peers my age. Um, taking that time or setting that, that Saturday or like, a day aside and just leaving it all on the table. Whatever is said stays in that group. But yeah, I definitely want to do that again. That
I love
absolutely.
that. I love that. Elizabeth Town says many adults don't find out they are on the autism spectrum until adulthood because
Mm,
the testing wasn't available to us in our youth and young adulthood. Thank you for that, Elizabeth.
mm.
And then you want to speak to that before I go to Deborah Johnson?
No, I just never realized that. So thank you for that as well. I know when we found out about Isaac's diagnosis, he was 2 years old, I want to say. So if you can find out sooner rather than later, please do. But I did not, know that, most adults didn't find out that they were on autism spectrum to adults. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and then she grabbed the hashtag, leaving it all on the table. And then Deborah Johnson says journaling is so healing. And y'all know Deborah Johnson is our go-to with writing. She's wanting to bring back writing. She's starting a movement with writing, and journaling is a part of that. Well, Isaiah, this has been inspiring. This has been amazing. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, my nephew's really getting ready to turn 21, and you're sounding like you're about to turn 45 or so with all your wisdom and knowledge that you're bringing forth. If there's one thing that you could say to your millennial, are you a millennial?
I No, I think I'm Gen Z.
Gen Z. Okay, because those numbers cut off are really strange to me. So what would you say to other Gen? Is it would I say it right by saying call them Gen Zers or Gen Z group? I don't know. I know I just probably just jacked that up completely. Y'all know me by now, whatever. But what would you say to someone else who's in that group of being a Gen Z or millennial?
Hmm.
Who find that maybe they're not really excited where they are right now. I mean, everyone, y'all, this will go into our inspirational message, which I'm gonna let Isaiah's words be the final words for today. But what would you say to them if they're saying if you know that they're stuck or they're not necessarily happy doing what they're doing, they want to make a career change or do something different, but because their family have said to them for years that they're going to be XYZ, they feel like they have to do that. What would you say to that person who really has a passion and love for something else? But maybe instead of making 100 grand, 100,000 a year, they may be making 40 to 60,000 per year. And
Mm.
you don't want money to stop them. What would you say? What would be some words of inspiration to them before we sign out of here today?
Go for it. Just do it. Do what you love to do. Follow that path. And if it if it's not about the money that you enjoy, but it's the activity or the occupation that you enjoy doing, it won't be work for you. It'll just kind of be like a hobby in a way, a hobby that you're getting paid for, basically. um that is one thing that I want to say. Another thing that I would say is, like I said earlier, be proud of your progress. Be proud of the pace that you're going at. If you feel like there's a change that needs to be made, you know self-reflect and self-evaluate with that. What does that look like for you? Whether it be networking with some new people, whether it's whether it's journaling, um, whatever that may look like. Take that chance, take that risk, because life without risk is it's boring for real. It really is.
I
Um,
love that. And you
and
see, Elizabeth Town says, I love this. I love how this community works. She says, I'm going to need Isaiah at my next disruptive conference. I'll be in touch. That is amazing. I'm just so excited about that. And then your mom says Jeremiah 29:11.
That scripture I cannot escape from.
Yep. God knows the plans He has for you. Check in with God. How can people get in touch with you? Speaking of getting in touch, let's say somebody's listening to this. We've been really pushing for the month of October that young people tune in to hear from our young people. Y'all, this segment of today will also be uploaded to Politics and Prose for this Friday. Please make sure you grab it. It will take all the headlines out of here. Make sure you grab this so that people can hear it, young people can hear it, to help them. I had my daughter on last Friday. Isaiah will be on this Friday. We're really pushing this. We're being intentional about this. So if somebody says, you know what, I want to get in touch with that young man. I want him to come speak at our youth conference. I want him to come speak at our young adult conference. I want him to come speak at a community whatever. I want him to come and mentor. I want him to come do whatever. And yes, I will pay him to do it. Hello, somebody. How could people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me through email. I am on Facebook. Email, Facebook.
So can you give everybody your email address, please?
Yes, I can. Actually, I will put it in the chat right now.
Okay, as he's putting that in the chat, y'all, again, Isaiah will be turning 21 on Friday. So I want us to do whatever we can to bless this young man. Y'all just heard him today. He's phenomenal. His Cash App again, and I'm going to try to find, what's your Cash App, Isaiah?
It is Isaiah Jones 1916. And I also take Zelle too.
Okay, so Isaiah Jones 1916. He also takes Zelle. And then his email is Isaiah Jones. Let's pop that up there as well. Isaiah Jones 3204. I'm sorry, is it Isaiah.Jones?
Yes.
3204.
Isaiah.Jones 3204 at gmail.com.
Say that one more time for us, please.
Isaiah.Jones 3204 at gmail.com.
Yeah. This has been amazing. And I cannot thank you enough. So I'm going to be quiet. Give us a word of inspiration before we check out of here.
Okay. Just way to throw me in the fire there, Auntie, but I got you. I want to send this inspirational message to everyone, but mostly to the young people. Just know that you are seen, you are heard, you are valued. You are loved. Anybody can say that they love you, but only a few people can value you. So know your worth and value yourself. Know the purpose that you walk in. Know who you are and whose you are. That would probably be the most inspirational thing I can think of to say right now. Just know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, and you are valued. Know that I'm proud of you, and whatever that you are choosing to do. If you have an idea, go for it. Don't be afraid to take a chance, take that risk, and don't put yourself in a box. Don't limit yourself. Don't put a label on yourself, on the gifts, the talents that you can do. Just be proud of yourself. Be proud of your progress, and stop comparing yourself to other people. I wish that we would stop doing that in today's world. But just know that I'm proud of you. I value you, I see you, and I love you. So that's all. that is all. And with that being said, y'all know what we do over here. Stay well, make some bold moves, and live your life abundantly. We will see y'all tomorrow.
NewsInMotion.